are streaming, I think. Oh, it's still... It says we're live here. There we go. All right, so we are going to try round 2 of this now. See if we can get this right. See if there's any echo. Let's put this here. Can't find supported channels. What do you mean? Go away. So, no supported channels enabled. Close. Sounds good. Okay, so apparently the chat is working. All right, so we're trying round 2 here of our debacle. Are all the titles correct, Tracy? All right, so Facebook looks good. Facebook and YouTube, yes, good. All right. All right, so if anyone saw that last disaster, we are going to be discussing Good Omens, and I think we have all of our glitches worked out. Let me do one last thing here.
If we run into an audio issue again, I suggest we mute Skype for audio and use Discord for audio.
Well, might be able to do that. And actually, now I'm seeing... I had muted the NDI source. Now it's not muted again, so I'm going to mute that. So, let's see. Brandon is echoing now.
Am I?
Well, that's what Tracy said, but I'm pretty sure it's because the NDI was not muted. So, NDI audio is flaky, I'm guessing. Have Brandon say words. Brandon, say the words.
I can say the words.
Can you say some more words?
I can say some more words if I had some more words to say.
Now he's good. So yeah, it was the NDI stuff. So I guess that NDI is not going to work. We can experiment with that more some other time. But all right, I am ready to start. Is your AC off? I don't hear it. Okay, good. All right. Let me pull this back up real quick. So I have you there. I have the format. And 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's up? Slider here with the M Cluster, and I am here as always with Brandon. That way.
Hey guys.
This way. This way. I forgot where you were. Anyway, we are going to be discussing the recent BBC series that is airing on Amazon Prime for us, Good Omens, with David Tennant and Michael Sheen. David Tennant is most widely known from his grand stint as Doctor Who. He was in this little indie, crappy franchise called Harry Potter. And he was also the Purple Man in Jessica Jones. Michael Sheen. I know I've seen him in other things, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any of them. What about you,
Neither can
Brandon?
I know I've seen him, but from where I couldn't place it off the top of my head, like you said.
Yeah, I should have looked that up before we started. But anyway, so basically, this is the story of an angel and a demon that have to work together in order to keep Armageddon from occurring. The Antichrist is now on Earth, and things are in motion, and they are trying to keep things from going down that road because heaven and hell want war, but the angel and demon have been on Earth long enough to like it, and they want to stay where they are. So, with that, it starts off with the traditional Adam and Eve story, where Adam and Eve are in the garden and they get tempted by the snake. In this case, the snake is represented by Crowley. And of course, he gets hurt and bite the apple. What happens next? Obviously, Adam bites the apple, and they get expunged from the garden. And that's when we actually meet the angel and the demon, Crowley, and Aziraphale.
Aziraphale.
And they're obviously represented here by these two. And that begins the relationship over the millennia from the time the Earth was created up until present day. And then, Brandon, you want to go ahead and take over?
So, the whole thing is Crowley at the time. Crowley gave this apple, convinced Eve to take an apple. Aziraphale's part in it is when Adam and Eve decide to leave the garden. Eve is pregnant already, and he couldn't send them away without anything. So he gave his flaming sword to Adam. And then in the very next scene, you see Crowley and Aziraphale talking, overlooking the desert, and you can't see it here, but you also see Adam slaying a lion with his fire sword.
Fighting a lion anyway.
Well, you hear the slaying, I guess. You don't see the slaying, you hear it. But I really liked the shot that they did of them overlooking the desert. It kind of put into perspective that Crowley is a fallen angel. I thought the shot was well done.
Talking about them overlooking the desert?
Yeah.
There's actually a little scene right after this that we don't have here, but where it starts to rain at the garden, and Aziraphale actually puts his wing out over Crowley to keep him from getting wet.
Yeah, I did notice that as well, and that's really the beginning of their long 6,000-year relationship.
Right. And it's the two of them together are really, they have good chemistry on screen. I really enjoy watching them, and I think they're both really good actors. So it works out really well. But with that history being what it is, they have a voiceover from God, and God is saying that the Earth is 6,000 years old, kind of like creationists would. So we see them throughout history in different parts, attending different events. And there was one thing. You know what? I should have got a screen capture of this, where they're at the Ark, and they see a unicorn running away.
I don't think that's this episode.
You're right. That wasn't this episode. I'm a little bit ahead of other people.
I want to say because I don't remember that.
But at any rate, so we see them throughout history, and that brings us up to present day, where, well, actually, no, I guess it'd be the 80s when when the Antichrist finally makes it to Earth. Or is it 90? 90? 92?
It would be
11 years.
It would be mid-2000s.
Mid-2000s, you're right.
Learn how to math, please.
No, I can't math.
I thought that it was interesting that Crowley was given the Antichrist. And when they first introduce that scene, it's another demon carrying a basket and then handing it over to Crowley. and Crowley was kind of surprised by the fact that he was given this task. Of course, the task is to swap out an actual baby with the Antichrist. And from there, it gets a little bit messed up.
Yeah, so there's an order of satanic nuns.
Which I thought was fantastic, by the way.
Yes. Do you remember the Order of the Chattering something?
Oh, God. I should have written the full name down. It was an unnecessarily long name.
Yes. And so we actually have them going through with the plan of what they're going to do, who's doing what, how long it's going to take, where they're going to send the different nuns to have different jobs, and how they're going to swap out the baby. But the catch is that at that same time, another couple comes in to give birth, and just messes up the whole works. And that's when we get the actual switching of the baby out.
Yeah. So Crowley shows up at this place, this demonic nun church, and hands the basket to the black nun that we have on the right. And when he does this, she ends up bringing it to the incorrect room, unbeknownst to them, really, or to Crowley at the time. And then there is a scene where she has just swapped it out, and another nun comes in to check on her and the task that she's doing, and they do this kind of like winking thing, like, oh yeah, like you got the right baby switched, and it's supposed to be with this couple over here, and they entirely misread each other's winks, which was hilariously done.
Yeah, and the way it's being described in the episode, it's a game of 3-card Monty. 3-card Monty being the shell game, basically, where you have to spot the card, and they shuffle the cards back and forth. You're supposed to guess which one's which. Obviously, everyone loses at this game in this scene, because they end up swapping out the wrong baby, and then after the babies are swapped out and sent home, they send the Antichrist home with a couple that lives in a small village in England. And then the
Oh, let's not forget, while they're at the church, I don't remember if it was a different set of nuns or if it was Crowley, had the one couple that they thought had the Antichrist name their child, and they ended up naming him Warlock.
Yes, and those are the same nuns, and the way this was supposed to go down was the child was supposed to go with the parents, the American ambassadors that were in England, except the husband was actually in Washington on assignment when she went into labor, so she ended up giving birth by herself. And that's when the nuns talked the mother into naming the child Warlock, saying it was a good old English name.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Because of course at first they were trying to get them to name him Damien, and I forget what their last name was, but the last name also started with a D, and she was like, no, that's too alliterative. And then we switch back over to the actual Antichrist and the parents that they put him with, and they're again trying to get them to name the baby Damien, and he's just like, no, I was looking for something more simple. So they go with Adam, and hence we go from Black Adam in creation to White Adam being the Antichrist. They come up. Well, no, that's not when they come up with the plan. First, they are
after the baby gets delivered and sent home, etc. Then Crowley and Aziraphale get together and they decide that they need to drink because the end of the world has essentially begun now.
Yes.
It will happen in 11 years' time. And so they're in love with humanity. They like going out to eat. They like seeing people. They like all the things that humanity has created. And so we see them start drinking, and Crowley is trying to talk about, like, oh man, what dolphins have such big brains, and so do whales. And then Aziraphale is talking about how the Kraken will rise up when the sea will boil, and that's when Crowley is like, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? Everything will be destroyed. And he starts to come up with this idea that he and Aziraphale should watch over this child to get him to not destroy the world. And Aziraphale really reluctantly agrees. He was kind of tricked into it because Crowley's like, well, you'd have to do your part as being a good guy. If I'm there, you'll have to be there to keep him on track. And so they do, and so Crowley decides to be a nanny.
Yes.
Which oh man, that was a great scene when he knocks on the door.
I have to believe that David Tennant did that as an homage to Mrs. Doubtfire.
You think?
Because he's obviously playing the prim, the British nanny, but just the whole dressing up, the way he speaks.
Demonic nanny.
Well, yeah, a demonic Mrs. Doubtfire, sure, why not?
Because the songs that he would sing to Warlock are a little ridiculous. Go to sleep, dream of pain, dream of blood and destruction. And
the Warlock is like, the gardener says I should never do any of those things, especially destroy the world.
And what's kind of interesting is that Warlock is this kid of an American ambassador or whatever his actual job is with the U.S. government. The kid's a brat, but obviously not evil.
Well, I guess if that's what you want to. I mean, I think all children are inherently evil, but
well, yeah, that's a you.
But he's also, he's brought up in a place of privilege. He's got a big house. He's, got a nanny, a gardener.
Which, that's why he's a brat. Not necessarily because of anything Crowley did. He's just a brat because he's rich.
Right. And so we see the plan is one of them is going to try to influence them to be good. The other one's going to try to influence them to be evil. And the net result should be a normal person, not evil or good.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if they fail. Because at his 11th birthday party, he's a little shit. And all of his friends are little shits.
Well, to be fair, Crowley was right. Crowley was like, you shouldn't do your stupid magic tricks because you can do actual magic.
Yeah,